Last I heard, Sandpiper was willing to go to $26 million.
Wow, a third of that is 8.5.
Mm-hmm. And 20% of that is
around 2 mil. But it's not happening.
Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and discussing the character Kim Wexler from the Season 5 finale of Better Call Saul, along with predicting what to expect from her in Season 6. Warning of spoilers up to Season 5 Episode 10, Something Unforgivable, and let's jump right into this. So at first, I just want to jump straight to the point here. Kim is trying to convince Jimmy to ruin Howard's career in order to get that settlement money. This is crazy exciting, especially since we've been wondering all season if the Sandpiper settlement was going to pop back up. And the name of the episode, Something Unforgivable, is very misleading as well. Initially, we predicted that that was something to do between Kim and Jimmy's relationship, but it's actually them talking about getting Howard to do something unforgivable that will cost him his career. So backing things up for a minute, after Jimmy tells Kim that they don't have to worry about Lalo anymore, they sit down for a fancy room service dinner and Kim confronts Jimmy about Howard confronting her. Now, Jimmy thought that he was probably gonna get into some shit here, but Kim is strangely okay with it, thinking that all Howard thinks about is himself, and then she starts thinking about ways to mess with him, and Jimmy starts to, tag along. But the thing is that Kim takes it way too far, to the point that she thinks about ruining his career, and then she just keeps bringing it up over and over again.
You know what that'd mean for the Sandpiper case? A big class action suit? They could tank the whole thing. So what would you do with it?
I don't know. What would you?
And this all started because Kim was complaining about her views on Howard, right? So after they took things to the bed, the conversation about the Sandpiper settlement got a little too real. And also, as a fun side note, when Kim is getting ice cream ready for Jimmy and her afterwards, he first says everything, on his ice cream, but then he tells her no mint chip, referencing Jimmy's mint chip ice cream cone that was swarmed by ants earlier this season. I guess that kind of ruined the flavor for him. And that has to do with the fact that the ants swarming the ice cream cone are supposed to be the cartel swarming Jimmy's life, like fun time is over, time for shit to get real, and Jimmy doesn't want anything to do with that anymore, so he doesn't even want to grab the mint chip flavor.
You want?
I'll have a little of everything. Actually, leave off the mint chip.
Anyways, near the end of the episode, Kim brings up the Sandpiper settlement money again, asking Jimmy what he'd do with it, and then telling him what she'd do with it. And as Kim starts to admit that she'd be okay with doing immoral actions in order to scam Howard and get this money, it really creates an incredible moment that parallels the Season 4 finale, as a commenter pointed out in my previous video. In Season 4, Jimmy walked away to evolve into Saul Goodman, saying "Saul Goodman" to Kim, leaving her stunned, standing there alone in the hallway with the camera panning out as the last shot. In the Season 5 finale, Kim stuns Jimmy this time by admitting that she's willing to live with doing immoral actions, effectively evolving her into Slippin Kimmy, leaving Jimmy shocked with a mix of emotions as the camera pans out from him. Jimmy is impressed with her and possibly even proud of her for one-upping him, but at the same time he's worried for her, and he's worried that he's turning her into a horrible person and that he's possibly ruining her life. He's both excited and saddened by her character transformation this episode. She's even making him feel uncomfortable. The fact that she's admitting to him that she'd be okay with something like this is huge. He thought that she wouldn't be able to sleep at night, but she says that she'll sleep just fine. She wants to help people with pro bono, but at the same time she's okay with destroying Howard's life, and as if destroying some man's career isn't bad enough, it's Howard, someone whom they've had a decade of history with. Thinking back to when Jimmy already tried to get the settlement money by conning those old folks to settle, he felt so bad about it that he actually undid his actions, but at his own detriment. But back when we learned that, in order for Jimmy to get what he wants, he usually has to hurt someone. But then in order for him to make things right, the only way that he knows how is to throw himself under the bus in the process.
I already tried like hell to get Sandpiper settled.
Yeah, but you went about it wrong. Sorry, but this is how you do it.
So going into Season 5, we were predicting that Howard could offer the settlement money to Jimmy out of nowhere, and that he'd use this break to get all of his iconic Saul Goodman stuff from Breaking Bad, such as his car and his office, but none of that ever happened this season, so I feel like it'll be a Season 6 thing. Throughout Season 5, the Sandpiper settlement wasn't mentioned once by Howard, and it wasn't mentioned at all until the final episode. That being said, the way that they bring it up is shocking and completely unexpected, but I'm glad that they still did. Now, not only are Kim and Jimmy bringing it up as another another scam possibility, but they're talking about destroying Howard to get to it.
To get a bunch of lawyers to run for the exits, Howard would have to have done something unforgivable. At the end of it, he might never be able to practice law again.
Kim tries downplaying ruining Howard's career, and it's horrific coming from her, saying how it's only one lawyer and a minor career setback. Jimmy literally says that he may never be able to practice in law again, and he knows that Howard doesn't deserve that. It's crazy that all of this is going through Kim's head only because Howard was on her mind due to him trying to pull her aside and talk to her to help her, but he just ended up offending her. Now, every time Howard willingly puts his nose into their business, even if he's right, even if he's just trying to help, it always ends up backfiring one way or another, causing either Jimmy or Kim to retaliate. We'll be discussing Howard in his own video for season 5, but that's a huge video, so for now I'll just say that he definitely didn't deserve to be their punching bag for this season, but Howard, I don't even know where to begin. So Kim is trying to convince Jimmy to ruin Howard's career in order to get them to pay out the money, which would make her and Jimmy both millionaires. Well, just Jimmy, like he's the one that would get the money, but technically both of them because they're married.
And it's not like the old folks get stiffed. But they get their money now while they can still use it.
And the lawyers get paid.
And the lawyers get paid. How much of the common fund do you get?
We get 20% of the common fund.
Forget it. Okay?
This side of Kim both excites me for what's to come, but it also makes me extremely uncomfortable as well. I'm also worried for Kim, just like we've all been all season long. Just how far is she going to push things? If Kim turns off that moral switch, what could she possibly be capable of? Usually people who are on the straight and narrow their whole lives go crazy and overdo it when they're finally able to go off the deep end. So I feel like Kim will just full send it more than we ever thought imaginable. Going into season 6, Kim will convince Jimmy to ruin Howard's career so that they can become millionaires. The season 5 finale really feels like Kim's Breaking Bad moment, and now all cards are on the table. She's seen the $100,000 that Jimmy got, and I think she wants more. Even if she says that she never wants anything like that with the cartel to happen again, I still think that she wants to find another avenue to pursue in order to get rich quick, the millions that they'll receive from the Sandpiper settlement. So will they actually get away with this money, or could they get caught in the process? Could Kim pull another self-destructive move and give herself up after feeling bad for how much she'll actually hurt Howard? It would almost be more shocking to have her not feel bad for it and have her fully break bad for good. Will Kim end up going to jail for this? Either because she could accidentally get busted, or again because she could give herself up. I feel like Kim will shock us all with just how dark she'll get in season 6, and she's going to fly off the rails more than even Jimmy can control. Before, it was Kim who couldn't control Jimmy when he was going out of control, and Kim had to always reel him back, but now it's Jimmy who won't be able to control Kim. We could go back and forth on this, giving examples about it all day, but the roles between them here have switched, and it feels like Kim has the horns now. So could Kim get roped back into the cartel business as well and possibly become a cartel lawyer? Kind of a random prediction, but it's definitely something that's been discussed and theorized about a bunch ever since she stood up to Lalo. What if Lalo respects her more than Jimmy and gives her a higher position? How hilarious would it be if during Breaking Bad, Kim is actually higher up in the cartel business than Jimmy is? Kim has definitely gone off of the deep end at this point. I'm very worried for her going into season 6, although now I'm more like worried for her on the legal side of things and worried if she's gonna lose her license and go to jail, that sort of thing, not so much life threatening like when it was dealing with Lalo. And just the fact that the lawyer side of the show never really crosses paths with the cartel side of the show, so there never is anything truly life threatening going on with Jimmy and Kim throughout the entirety of the show. And then suddenly there is, and then once it's over, they have to just go back to their normal lives, except they're not normal at all. They go right back into a bunch of drama, now probably trying to scam Clifford Maine and Howard Hamlin in order to get the settlement money, and who knows what else they're gonna get involved with in season 6 to conclude their story arc and finalize this TV show. But with Lalo coming back into the mix, apparently it's confirmed that he is going back to Albuquerque, even though I don't know if he's gonna have to go in hiding because the cops are probably after him after he dipped under his fake name, but we'll discuss that in another video. My point here is Lalo a threat to Kim and Jimmy in season 6? Is he going to come back for them, either wanting to hurt them or wanting to take advantage of their skills, I guess you would want to call it? I don't know if Lalo even wants anything to do with them anymore, but Kim was definitely right saying that Lalo couldn't trust his own men, and it's very insulting because Lalo went down to promote Nacho and Nacho ended up being the rat, so it's very unpredictable with what Lalo is going to do in season 6, considering the cliffhanger that they left it off on. All we know is Lalo's pissed and he's going to return. So is he going to just go straight to Gus, or is he going to branch off and try and backtrack and go back to Jimmy and Kim, because they're the last people that he had an issue with before he left America? And I feel like Kim got a huge confidence boost standing up to Lalo, even though she was still clearly terrified. I feel like she's definitely overconfident because of it, and that might bite her in the ass in season 6. So what are some theories that you guys have for Kim going into season 6? Will she control the relationship now? Will she manipulate Jimmy into doing this even though he's not comfortable with it? They definitely wouldn't set that up if they're not going to have something crazy about it go down in season 6. So how do you think that will turn out? Do you think that Kim's going to end up in jail? Is she going to actually get away with this and set up her life and career, but at what cost? Because who knows, maybe she thinks that she'll be able to live with it, but eventually she might not be able to, but there's nothing that she could do about it. Or who knows, she might end up throwing herself under the bus. There's just so many different branches that they could go with this. There's so many different options. I'm just very unsure about Kim, because the way that they set her up in this finale is so unpredictable for what she's going to do next. I mean, it's pretty clear what she wants to do. She wants that 2 million, but as far as just how she's going to go about doing it, what lines is she going to cross next, and after, even if she does get the 2 million, what's she going to do next? I don't feel like this is going to be her last con. I feel like this is just how she is now, so she's going to be doing things like this from now on until something catches up with her, she gets screwed over or busted, or something bad happens that forces her to stop. So what will be her defining moment? When will she finally spiral out of control for good? And strangely enough, even though Lalo's alive, as I said, I'm slightly less concerned about her life being in danger. Leave any theories and predictions down in the comments below, and I'll be sure to go through and favorite any that I see. And I just realized I still have like 2 or 3 more Kim videos that I want to do from season 5. I'm not sure if I'm going to do them all in a row. I might talk about Lalo and Nacho for a little bit, but one of the videos that I'll be doing is how Saul Goodman corrupted Kim Wexler during season 5 of Better Call Saul, or did he corrupt her? Was she always like this? So leave any theories about that as well. And then I'll also be discussing in another video why Kim just quit her job and threw her career away. And of course, as always, if you have any other topic that you want to see discussed on the channel, feel free to let me know. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything that I've said today, and if you're new here, just haven't yet already, subscribe and hit that bell notification for updates on when I post new content on Better Call Saul. As always, I thank you guys all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
At the end of it, he might never be able to practice law again.
We're talking about a career setback.